whole country. And even today, I think the principles with which the great people like BHU and Radhakrishna build up this institution with complete autonomy and a vision for future is a model for most of the universities. It should be pursued in that manner. I must say that the last decade has been disastrous for statistics, particularly the topic that have been chosen by Professor Mishra, Professor Sahu, Manoj and others. क्योंकि ये जो डिस्कशन पांडे जी और फरांज जी ने हमें प्रोवोक करके तो चली गए, ये जो डिस्कशन जो है, the chemistry of poverty is extremely important. And अगर आप 60s, 70s को जाएं, you will find people like Sukhatme was talking about Vigyan of human behavior, the chemistry of human body, and you would have been surprised. Menhas ने कहा कि minimum calorie requirement is not determined biologically, is determined culturally, socially, historically. आपकी minimum क्या है? वो कौन तय करता है? आपकी culture भी, in fact, what Menas showed that people can survive with 1800 calories, depending on not only the natural factors, but also the human behavior. Sometimes 2800 calories are not enough. So, हमें ये जो gap है, natural science and social science, उसको bridge करना बहुत जरूरी है. You can't take up the issues of measurement only by talking about social sciences, but you have to bring in the chemistry of poverty into the whole discussion. वृंदा जी ने सवाल पूछा कि हमें जब नजर आता है वो तो डेटा में नहीं है, आंकड़े कहते हैं कि भाई पॉवर्टी खत्म हो गई, आप सड़क से बाहर निकलिए. अभी सुना होगा वो तोड़ती पत्थर, मैंने देखा है उसे इलाहाबाद के पथ पर, वो तो बनारस के पथ पर भी मिल जाएंगे. झुग्गियां हैं, people are struggling in the informal sector. कोई प्रॉब्लम है?
क्यों बार-बार कर रहे हैं?
I thought you were okay, fine, thank you. You know, you're right. that आंकड़े क्या हम हकीकत को कैप्चर कर पा रहे हैं? यही समस्या है जो डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ इकोनॉमिक्स में रखा है. How do you measure poverty? क्या हमारे मेजरमेंट टूल्स हकीकत को नहीं रिफ्लेक्ट करते? जो वृंदा जी ने जो कंसर्न शेयर किया बिल्कुल जेन्युइन है कि आंकड़ों से क्या हम जान पा रहे हैं कि लोग किस तरह जी रहे हैं. आपको दो लाइन सुनाऊं, पॉवर्टी के बारे में ही है. उनको देखा है मेरी नजरों ने, करें चर्चा हम मगर कैसे, क्योंकि के बने ये नजर जुबा कैसे, के बने ये जुबा नजर कैसे. आप जो देख रहे हैं वो बोल नहीं पा रहे, उनको आंकड़ों में कैसे लेके जाएंगे? यही चैलेंज है कि हम आंकड़ों से कैसे हकीकत को रिफ्लेक्ट करा सकते हैं, कोशिश करें. मैं जानता हूँ आंकड़ों में बहुत प्रॉब्लम्स हैं, लेकिन अगर इतने ब्राइट माइंड्स इकट्ठे हुए हैं, आंकड़ों को देखें, उनको एग्जामिन करना सीखें और उसमें से कितनी चीज़ें लेके जाना है, कितना हमें रिजेक्ट करना है, उसकी कैपेबिलिटी हमें डेवलप करनी पड़ेगी. हम अगर पहला स्लाइड आपके सामने है, आपको दो अच्छी खबरों से शुरू करता हूँ. होली लैंड है, and then we will get into the discussion. I don't know how to move forward, how to move backward. Put it in the middle of the आगे है. तीन अच्छी खबर सुनाता हूँ, उसके बाद में हम लोग चर्चा करेंगे कि आंकड़े सही कहते हैं। एक, हम तीसरा सबसे बड़ी अर्थव्यवस्था बनने वाले हैं। We are going to be the third largest economy in the world. Is it true? Look at the graph. We have the United States of America. We have China next. China is a large country. Population is also higher. We have Japan, Germany, and then India. India is fifth. But you see, India is pretty close to Japan and Germany. And by all national and international standards, the growth rate of India is much higher than that of Japan and Germany today. So, undoubtedly, India is going to take over Japan and Germany in a short time. So there is no doubt that India will be the third largest economy, but India can be the first largest economy. Even if India's per capita income is less than the world average, because population is very large. India has the largest population. Total economy is calculated by multiplying the per capita income by total population. So just the fact that India is going to be the third largest economy is something, is a matter of some satisfaction. लेकिन हमें ध्यान में रखना है कि per capita income में हमारे स्थान जो है 132 पे चल रहा है. So this is something that we should understand from the data. The second good news that I want to give you, शिवशंकर जी से मैंने कल चर्चा भी कर रहा था, मल्टी-डायमेंशनल पॉवर्टी. आज सुबह पिता जी से बात हुई. Multi-dimensional poverty report coming out from NITI Aayog says that poverty in India has gone down from 25% to 15% between the period from 2015-16 to 2021. संजय जानते हैं ये NFHS का डेटा है. इसके आधार पर ये क्या ये क्लेम सही है? There are many people, I know many of the radical economists, many of my friends have said कि multiracial poverty जो है ये इंटरनेशनल कॉन्स्पिरेसी दिखाने के लिए इंडिया में पॉवर्टी घटती चली जाएगी, क्योंकि what you have done is put water supply, sanitation, housing, बच्चा स्कूल जाता है कि नहीं जाता. Once the child starts going to school, the child will not drop out. So he said that बिजली आ गई, water you have got, you will not get disconnected. So poverty will go down continuously. But that is really not true. At least in 6 districts, poverty has gone up. Because during COVID period, things did go badly. And I would think that this multidimensional poverty index, which shows a rapid reduction in poverty, is something which cannot be dismissed. Because the global report निकलता है. In fact, India is following the global reports methodology. Global report में 10 इंडिकेटर लिए हैं. Something to deal with education, something to deal with health, and then access to basic amenities. And let me tell you, the global report which is brought out by UNDP and Oxford shows that India poverty has gone down very fast compared to other countries. And if I can mention, ऐसे थोड़ा बहुत फर्क हो सकता है. Global report says that the decline in poverty during 2014 to 2020 was faster than the previous decade. But that can be data differences, but nonetheless, there is no doubt that multidimensional poverty, which reflects all different dimensions. जब poverty के measurement शुरू हुई थी, तब हमारा focus था chemistry of poverty, basically chemistry of human body, calories, कितना कैलोरी चाहिए. And everybody was criticizing, नहीं, calorie पर नहीं थोड़ा ठीक है, unidimensional है, we must bring in education health. But when it comes, people say no, we want to get only consumption expenditure based poverty, multidimensional poverty is politics, क्योंकि उसमें 10 चीजें डाल दी हैं. So many people say that no, we will not accept multidimensional poverty because that is I'm quoting some of my colleagues, that is not poverty, that is deprivation. I don't understand how poverty can be dealing from deprivation. Say, oh, this is not, getting water supply and sanitation is modernization. It is not poverty reduction. I am not convinced about that. So I have a feeling that do not dismiss. There are problems in multidimensional poverty measurement. कौन सा इंडिकेटर लेना है, क्या वेटेज देनी है, कौन से सोर्स होगा, how to scale the indicators that have been working. But nonetheless, let us not say that only one dimension, which is consumption expenditure, is the only one which should be taken. But now, 2 weeks ago, what data भी आ गया? Consumption expenditure का data. You are aware of it? That consumption expenditure data shows Shomokant Ghosh from State Bank, they have analyzed and says poverty is 5% only, much less than multidimensional poverty. 5% है. Urban में जो है 4.5% है, rural में 6%. Sujit Bhalla and Karan Basin, one of the all experts in poverty, says India has eliminated expert poverty. ये जो सवाल जो इंदिरा जी कर रहे थे, ये डेटा कहाँ तक सही है? Is it really capturing the reality? After all, जितना हम कोशिश करते हैं, मुश्किल है. आंखों का और जुबान का अगर corresponding नहीं बनता तो डेटा के साथ में reality का correspondence मुश्किल हुआ. लेकिन nonetheless, we have the information coming down from collected from household level data. 2020 का जो डेटा है household level से something like 1,40,000 households with a detailed questionnaire, 3 visits to the household, and then the data shows that the consumption expenditure in the rural areas have grown every year by 3%, 3.1, and rural 2.6%. This is the latest data which has come up, and the whole government machinery is going gaga over. Look, India has done wonderfully, particularly in the last 5 years. Niti Aayog Chief Subramaniam has also said by now we have done a wonderful job, but there are genuine issues that we must consider. As students of economics, as students of social science, we should develop reasonable, healthy skepticism about the data. इस डेटा में कंपैरेबिलिटी का प्रॉब्लम है. ये जो नया डेटा जो आया है, I was discussing with Shiv Shankar yesterday about one of my students who was teaching in Bhubaneswar, that the information which was collected before 2011-12 के बाद में कोई सर्वे नहीं है. मैंने कहा डिजास्टर था. जो भी एक एम्प्लॉयमेंट का डेटा निकला गवर्नमेंट ने रिजेक्ट कर दिया क्योंकि दैट शोज वेरी हाई अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट. कंजम्पशन एक्सपेंडिचर का निकला एनएसएस का, वो भी रिजेक्ट हो गया क्योंकि दैट शोज ए ड्रॉप. एंड देयर आर मेथोडोलॉजिकल इश्यूज. इस डेटा में भी थोड़ा प्रॉब्लम है. क्या प्रॉब्लम है? इट इज मच मोर डिटेल्ड एंड यू से देयर इज नॉट अ प्रॉब्लम, इट्स अ गुड थिंग. Each household was visited in 2011-12, comparable to उसी से होगी. 11-12 में एक विजिट होता था, 1.5 घंटे का विजिट है हाउस होल्ड में. अभी 3 विजिट्स हुए. पहले विजिट में रेफरेंस पीरियड 1 हफ्ते का कि पिछले हफ्ते में आपने कितना कंज्यूम किया. दूसरा विजिट में पिछले महीने में आपने कितना कंज्यूम किया. कुछ आइटम जो है जो वीकली खरीदे जाते थे, फिश है, वेजिटेबल है, you cannot capture by monthly reference period. So what we have followed now is mixed modified reference period. आप 3 बार विजिट कर रहे हैं. आपने पहले something like 350 items का पूछा. The schedule is very detailed. You ask questions about नमक कितना लिया आपने, चाय कितना खाया. All these various items are there. Number of items have gone up to 450. Obviously, the data is more scientific, more reliable. पंडित जी साइंस की बात कर रहे थे तो हम साइंस में इम्प्रूव कर गए. लेकिन चूंकि आपने ज्यादा सवाल पूछा, चूंकि आपने ज्यादा वक्त बिताया उनके साथ, 1 घंटे की जगह 3.5 घंटे बिताए, आपका इंफॉर्मेशन ज्यादा आ गया. ऐसा हो सकता है कि आपका कंजम्पशन एक्सपेंडिचर भी बढ़ गया. अगर आप एवरेज क्वेश्चनर लेते हैं तो कंजम्पशन एक्सपेंडिचर कम होता है, जब डिटेल क्वेश्चनर लेते हैं तो कंजम्पशन एक्सपेंडिचर बढ़ जाता है. So that is a problem which is remaining there, and I am not 100% sure that all this great enthusiasm जो है वो बहुत ज़्यादा justified नहीं है. लेकिन I cannot accept the position that Indian economy which has grown at least 5.5% against the global growth rate of 3.5%. Consumption expenditure मैंने बताया 3% गोल से बढ़ा है, अर्बन में 2.8% बढ़ा है. Inequality बढ़ी रही है. The data that we have, I can't believe that poverty has gone up. It has definitely gone down, but the magnitude of decline we can debate on the basis of this comparability. ये देखिए आपके सामने मैंने डेटा रखा है. 1999, 2000, this is all NSS comparable data, excepting the fact जिसे मैंने कहा 2011-12 और 2022-23 में more detailed questionnaire, and particularly 2022-23, we have spent 3.5 hours in asking questions for each household because you visited 3 times. We can find out, look at the growth rate in the rural areas consumption expenditure. 2011 वाले में कितना था? 1430, 1430. This has gone up to 3773. A significant increase. This is all at comparable prices. 2006-630 gone up to 6459. It's a significant increase in the consumption expenditure between 2011-12 and 2022-23. But to say that growth rate has been faster than the earlier period, कुछ लोग ये कह रहे हैं भाई एनडीए गवर्नमेंट ने ज़्यादा किया, that is not coming out. अगर आप 1999 से 2011 देखें, growth rate is slightly higher than the later period. But कहेंगे भाई कोविड आ गया था, इसीलिए हमारा growth rate थोड़ा कम हुआ. But nonetheless, I would think that the poverty reduction rate has been more or less similar in the period of 2001 to 2011 and 2011 to 2022. I do not think there is any doubt that poverty has certainly declined irrespective of the data issues. Look at the inequality. 2011-12 की inequality पहले ब्लॉक में है. What does the first pillar show? The highest consumption expenditure divided by lowest. The highest consumption expenditure in 2011-12 in the rural areas was 8.59 times. That means highest consumption expenditure was 8.5 times more than the lowest. अभी क्या है? Rural में 7.3 times. थोड़ा increase हुआ. But that is only ratio of highest and lowest. We have Thiel's index. Economics के student जानते होंगे Thiel's index and Gini coefficient वगैरह calculate किए. You do find that inequality in the rural areas was 1.32, which has gone down to 1.17. Rural से comparison कीजिए. दूसरा एक Thiel's index which gives higher weightage to the upper end of the distribution, वो भी घटा है. अर्बन में भी देखिए, the highest lowest ratio was 14.68. Highest consumption expenditure category was enjoying 15 times more. Now it is only 10 times. So there is a decline, and this decline is shown in the inequality measures also. This is, we do not have unit level data. अभी तक हमारे पास हाउसहोल्ड लेवल का डेटा अवेलेबल नहीं है, उसको रिलीज करने वाले हैं. But we have for each fractiles, देखिए कितना बड़ा है. 0 to 5% में आप देखिए green pillar shows the consumption expenditure in 2011-12, the rural, and this is the graph of the rural areas, and the orange one shows the expenditure in 2022-23. Where do you think there has been more higher increase? Did the poor benefit or did they reach benefit? आपको लग रहा है कि देखिए इधर तो रिचर सेक्शन में काफी ज्यादा गैप चला है ग्रीन और ऑरेंज की, बट रेशियो वाइज अगर आप देखें तो मोर और लेस सेम, which means increase in the consumption expenditure across the categories have been more or less the same, which means inequality will go down. अगर बहुत high inequality है, सबको आपने 1000 के साथ दे दिया, सबको 1000 दिया, then inequality will go down because there is high inequality. The poor person gets 1000, rich also gets 1000. It doesn't matter for the rich much. So we do find inequality has gone down across the expenditure categories that we have. This is the urban areas, the same story. एक रिपोर्ट आई है नीति आयोग से मल्टी डायमेंशनल पॉवर्टी पर। रमेश चंद बहुत अच्छी जैन स्कॉलर है, he is a member of नीति आयोग, he was responsible for this report. नीति आयोग ने पहले कहा कि 2015 से 2021 के बीच में 135 मिलियन लोग पॉवर्टी एस्केप कर रहे हैं। That was the data, and in fact this was also confirmed in the global report that 135 million people escaped poverty during the period 2014-15 to 2019-21. ये पीरियड क्यों बता रहा हूँ? ये NFHS का जो सर्वे है, वो NFHS 4 was 2015-16 and NFHS 5 was 2019-21, right? But नीति आयोग was not very happy. 135 मिलियन कम लगा उनको। उन्होंने क्या किया? 2014 से शुरू किया जब एनडीए गवर्नमेंट आई और 2023 तक और उन्होंने दिखाया कि the number of people who escaped poverty from 2014 to 2022, not 15 to 2021, is 240 million, and there was huge discussion. I think that was not needed. ग्लोबल रिपोर्ट ने भी कहा है कि थोड़ा सा फास्टर है पॉवर्टी रिडक्शन इन द लेटर पीरियड, लेकिन ये जो मेथोडोलॉजी लगाया इंटरपोलेट करने का और एक्सट्रापोलेट करने का, 2015-16 का डेटा है हमारे पास एनएफएचएस से, बट 2014 तक जाने के लिए आपको assumption करनी पड़ेगी. That created a lot of controversy. You must have read articles saying that नीति आयोग is pushing it too much to say 135 million नहीं 140 million है. I have a feeling that was avoidable, but nonetheless there is no doubt that given the database, the methodology was okay, and I would think that poverty reduction, because of provision of particularly drinking water and sanitation, every household, LPG cylinder, electricity, ये जो हुआ है, and many, by the way, let me tell you, global report में 10 इंडिकेटर, हमारे नेशनल रिपोर्ट में 12 इंडिकेटर है. By the way, I was responsible for the multi-dimensional poverty report for Lebanon. I was part of the UN system, and you can Google and find out Arab poverty report. हमने वहाँ भी 2 इंडिकेटर नए डाले. एक था having a own house. इंडिया में ownership rented house में बहुत अमीर लोग रहते हैं. So living in a rented house is not necessarily a sign of deprivation. दूसरा हमने डाला था, I don't know whether you know about it, FGM, female genital mutilation, that is interfering with the woman's body, and that we said that is an indicator of deprivation of the woman. She was talking about gender aspect. I had to fight. We had to fight with the Arab League. They said no, this is our cultural thing, because this does not show interfering with the human body. But it's not a sign of deprivation. I said even sati was a cultural thing in India. You can't say that's not a sign of deprivation. So we finally succeeded. India में जो 2 नए इंडिकेटर डाले हैं उसमें थोड़ी सी प्रॉब्लम है. एक इंडिकेटर है बैंकिंग, कितने अकाउंट खुले. आपको पता है बहुत बैंकिंग अकाउंट खुले, लेकिन अकाउंट में पैसे नहीं किसी के पास. तो नंबर ऑफ अकाउंट खोलने से और ड्रिंकिंग वाटर पीने से दोनों बराबर हो गए. That is one issue that I think one has to address, and I was discussing with James ex-director of IIPS, अगर डेमोग्राफिक ट्रांजिशन हो रहा है, अगर अब नंबर ऑफ चिल्ड्रन कम हो रहे हैं ओवर टाइम, अगर नंबर ऑफ डिलीवरीज कम हो रहे हैं, तो इवन इफ द malnutrition of children, malnutrition goes up, even if death rate of the children go up, if the number of children go down, multinational poverty index will go down. That is a serious problem. I shared with Sabina Alkire, who is responsible for it. Let me state it again. If the dropout rate for the children in the school, suppose that goes up, poverty should go up. If the malnutrition of the children go up, or death rate among children, these are the indicators of multidimensional poverty. If death rate goes up, poverty should go up. But if the number of children have gone down overall, even if among the children the death rate goes up, multinational poverty index will go down. That is a serious problem. We need to methodologically correct. I have written something on impossibility theorem for measuring poverty. But let me now conclude. Since the topic is measurement, and I don't think it is suitable for inaugural, because I want to have discussion. We have eminent scholar like Mr. Chakravarti and whole department of economics is here. So I would like to just take another 5 minutes, and then if we can have some question answers, that will be a good thing. I want to get to the debates. I'm trying to calculate Gini coefficient. You all know inequality in the rural areas have gone down, inequality in the urban areas have gone down, not with the unit level data. We are waiting for the unit level data, but at the moment, whatever information we have shows inequality has gone down. Now this is the decline in poverty. आपको पता है रेफरेंस पीरियड का बड़ा प्रॉब्लम होता है पॉवर्टी की मेजरमेंट। पहले यूनिफॉर्म रेफरेंस पीरियड हुआ करता था। What was the uniform reference period? You go to a household, ask them during last month how much did you consume for all items. अगर आप पूछेंगे पिछले हफ्ते में how much did you spend on buying a car? पिछले साल हमने खरीदा ही नहीं, पिछले महीने हमने खरीदा ही नहीं. So monthly reference period is not good for consumer durables like refrigerator, all those consumer durables में एक साल का reference period होगा. कुछ items हैं जो चावल, दाल, all those household goods, monthly reference period. And for vegetables and fish, meat, weekly reference period. That is mixed, modified reference period. Earlier, we were using uniform reference period, which World Bank also uses. You do find that by uniform reference period, poverty was declining, but from 2012 to 2022, we have modified mixed reference period. Again, we find $1.9 as the extreme poverty line as given by the World Bank line. And I just want to mention this and stop at that. See, one important sign of improvement of the condition is the amount of money that people are spending on an average on food. Percentage of expenditure on food has gone down significantly. खाने पे कम खर्चा करते हैं, नॉन फूड पे ज़्यादा करते हैं, एजुकेशन पे, क्लोथिंग पे, हाउसहोल्ड एमिनिटीज पे, रिक्रिएशन पे. That is a good sign because the expenditure on food means that is what is absolutely essential. That has gone down from 45% to about 39%. But what this graph shows, you'll be surprised. ये बताइए, अब चावल, दाल, गेहूं, आटा पे ज़्यादा खर्चा करते हैं या सब्जी भाजी पे? Total monthly expenditure. We find that expenditure on fruits and vegetables is higher than expenditure on cereals. That's a good thing. You see, earlier it was 22% that you spend on rice, wheat, dal. Now we are spending 5% in the rural areas, only 5% on cereals. Rest of it in the food, the consumption of milk has gone up, consumption of chicken has gone up, consumption of fruits and vegetables has gone up, consumption of processed food has gone up. Now processed food में क्या है? You can say it's the junk food. I was attending a conference in Lal Bahadur Shastri Academy yesterday. मैं जरा इसी बैठ गया, सर्दी वहाँ बहुत थी. We discussed that how the expenditure of non-cereal food has gone up. Fruits, vegetables, we are spending on that, we are spending on food. Even in the poorer areas and the rural areas, you find the consumption of non-cereal food has gone up. Now, I would like to conclude by making one important statement. 21st century belongs to Asia. 21st century belongs to India. अब लोग रहा है मैं Ministry of External Affairs का एक स्लोगन सुना रहा हूँ. It's not true. This is Asia 2050. This is a study done by ADB. It says the potentially promising future for India, referred to as the Asian century. कहते हैं कि ये अगला ये जो century है, it will be Asian century, and it is possible. It says the century belongs to India, provided we follow the proper strategies. So ये inequality in the distribution of income and consumption needs to be addressed. And what is important, ये जो middle class emerge कर रहा है, जिसकी वजह से आप देख रहे हैं कि non-food expenditure बढ़ रहा है, non-cereal food expenditure बढ़ रहा है, उसको हम कैसे produce करें, that we are able to generate income in the hands of the poorest that Bindaji was talking about. This is the seminar that I was attending in Lal Bahadur Shastri Academy, where all the secretaries were present. It's a great opportunity has come up. Food grains पर जो है खर्चा कम हो गया है. Non-food items, क्या ये vegetables, ये इसको cooperative के through हम कर सकते हैं? Or only the multidimensionals, I don't want to name the big capitalists who are capturing the market. उससे ये inequality बढ़ेगी. अगर ADB कहता है अगर वही inequality रही in utilizing meeting the big demand which is coming from middle class on non-food items, on non-cereal food items, उसको अगर आप ऐसे produce करें through small scale industries, you have institutional innovations to ensure that this big opportunity which has come up because of the non-food expenditure by the middle class, even in the poorer sections, that is produced in a manner that brings redistributive justice. Although I said, this is the last slide I will touch, although I said that poverty has gone down, I have no doubt about it, but there are some questions. One, look at the unemployment data. कहाँ से मिलता है unemployment का data अभी? Periodic labor force. We have that. There are some scholars who absolutely would never give up that slogan. Poverty has, unemployment has gone up. This is absolutely nonsense. You do find that 2017-18 from which we have the unemployment rate, it is declining. The growth rate of employment is high, but the quality of employment, a large part of the employment which is generated is unpaid family work. You have to improve that. And that's what I was saying, that if you can link up through cooperative, through small scale industry, through institutional support, through skill formation, if you can really change this, and employment rate has gone up, but unpaid family work, can you bring them within the formal market system? Those are real wages in the rural areas have not shown increase. That is another thing which is important for the state to monitor, to ensure that whatever legally prescribed wages are there, to a large extent that should be implemented. And the third point in which, as I said, when I was leaving Mussoorie, Lal Bahadur Shastri Academy, there was complete agreement that ये जो छोटे-छोटे cooperatives हैं, rural or urban area में, small scale industries की जो cooperatives हैं, they cannot deal with the market problems individually. They need some kind of a support system. मैंने खुद 32 I reviewed, surveyed 32 projects of the central government of cooperative dairy farming headed by women. 25 of them were following cooperative principle, but they are making huge losses. 3 या 4 ऐसे थे जो they are making profit, but the ministry told me, be aware, they are not following cooperative principle. When I visited, I found there are IRMA graduates who have taken over. They know कि जब गाय बीमार पड़ती है तो कहाँ से डॉक्टर बुलाना है. लेडीज कोऑपरेटिव्स को नहीं पता. जब उनका बॉन्ड बना था 1 crore, 1 crore was given to each cooperative. When there is a crack, if you don't repair within 3 days, the whole bond will collapse, and that's what happened. So you need some kind of a hand-holding. So I said these 3 are doing very well, but the ministry rightly pointed out they are not following cooperative principle. All those 20 women who are members of the cooperative, they are now employees. They are getting regular salaries. It is profit for the IRMA graduate. I said, look, you have to bring some kind of managerial efficiency without destroying the cooperative spirit, and that is a challenge. So I personally believe that this slogan, Sabka Vikas, Sabka Saath, Sabka Vishwas, if you have to really reach that, you have to create institutional mechanism by which the great opportunity that has been offered by the middle class and growth of non-food consumption, non-cereal food consumption, that can be produced in a manner that ensures equity and social justice. Thank you very much.